The first word is altruistic. Altruistic.
It's
Altruistic.
altruistic, yes.
Altruistic. Yes.
Altruistic,
And
and it means?
it means when a person has a tendency for actually helping others without asking for something in return, and as an opposite word, we can say selfish is an opposite for this word
Mm-hmm.
or an adjective.
Yes.
The next word is embellish.
Mm-hmm.
Means decorate. Or,
Mm-hmm. Beautify,
and
decorate, and even fabricate. Because if you embellish a story, it means that you just add some further
fabricate.
information. Yes, you fabricate, you concoct it. But there is a difference between fabricate a story and embellish a story. Do you know the difference?
Uh, when you fabricate, maybe it is false or it's not true from its basis.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Is that
very
right? Yeah.
good. Yeah, you create a new story completely from the very beginning of that, from the existence.
Yeah.
But when you embellish, it means that you perhaps just add some minor events.
Exactly.
No, and this is a whiter lie, but not a very serious lie.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
mm-hmm. So next word is.
The next one is cash.
Mm-hmm.
Then it refers to a number of things which have been hidden from someone or something, or sometimes it refers to some places which are hidden.
Yes, and even actually for in reference to the internet browsers, even we have the same thing, cache, that place, or let's say figurative place, or uh, a place that some extra information is just stored, but you cannot see them. Pieces of information. For example, after a while, you need to just clear the cache of your browser in order to have a faster experience of browsing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And next.
The next word is coterie. Coterie.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it refers to a group of people who work together harmoniously.
Mm-hmm.
They are
Yeah.
matched together. And
Yeah, a group of people who have many things in common, and who have some sort of commonality, and as you said, they act harmoniously.
yeah.
Okay.
And then last word is cupidity.
Mm-hmm. And
Cupidity.
cupidity.
It refers to greed or ever voracious appetite for doing something or having something. The spotlight on the worker.
So
Yeah.
spotlight on somebody something means.
Paying more attention or laying more emphasis on something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it means that the object actually is in the foreground of attention.
Okay. Uh, let us examine let us examine the activities of the altruistic workers in greater detail.
Mm-hmm. Yes, let us examine the activities of the altruistic workers in a greater detail. Because, as a matter of fact, workers in the bees civilization, because they have their own civilization, as a matter of fact, or
Yeah.
system of communication, they are really altruistic. They help all the members of the society, and they make a sacrifice. Okay.
After the workers have constructed a hive of waterproof honeycomb uh, made from beeswax, the queen begins to lay eggs in the first cells.
Okay. Yeah. After the workers have constructed a hive of waterproof honeycomb made from
Yeah,
beeswax, the queen
yeah,
begins to lay eggs in the first cells. Okay. So they share their responsibilities in a very accurate way. And here, the nice structure, grammatical structure, is that after plus after, actually, and the phrase starting with after, or clause with starting with after, has a present perfect a present perfect tense. You see, after something has done, because there is a chronological order. Something starts, and after that, something else starts. You see?
And it's regular, yeah.
Yes, it is. Because of after.
And but I didn't get the nice point.
Yep. You know,
structure.
when sometimes when you use after at the beginning of, let's say, dependent clause, because the clause after is dependent, it cannot stand on its own feet, and so after something has done, the formula is something like this: after something or somebody has done or has happened, something else, let's say, do or starts or happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get it? Because actually the phrase starting with after occurs before this next phrase or clause.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and this is because of that. Okay.
Yeah.
When they just construct or build a hive of waterproof honeycomb means?
Honeycomb means the nest of, for example, the nest of bees that's actually in that place they store honey, and it includes some hexagonal shapes.
Bravo, yes. Yes. So made from beeswax, the queen begins to lay eggs in the first cells. Okay, please.
While some workers embellish the hive, others fly out in search of nectar and pollen.
Yeah. Again, another symbol of responsibilities that are divided between them. And so let me see. While some workers embellish the hive, they take care of everything. Others fly out in search of nectar and pollen. So, because what are nectar and pollen used for?
Nectar is a sweet material which could be collected by bees, which are placed on the actually surface of flowers. And pollen is a powder which is distributed in the, for example, atmosphere with the help of wind, or sometimes with the help of actually bees.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, bees are great pollinators because they pollinate the powders, as you explained, so that even actually more flowers would bloom in future. So it is good for their reproduction. It is vital for the reproduction of plants and vegetables, for plantation, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
While some worker, you already let me see. Yes, with their line.
With their long tongues, they gather nectar and use their hind legs to carry the pollen from the flowers.
Yes. With their long tongues, they gather nectar and use their hind legs. Hind legs?
The back legs.
Back. That's why we have behind, hind and behind, yeah. To carry the pollen from their flowers. Actually their hind legs have a lot of fur, and that's why pollen's attached to those fur, and they can pollinate. And so please.
They fly directly back to the hive and then dance around the honeycomb. Their movements indicating the direction of the flowers.
This is called animal communication.
Is that right?
Meanwhile,
It-
first of all,
okay. Meanwhile, uh, other workers have been cleaning cells, caring for the young, and uh, guarding the precious cache of nectar.
yeah. Meanwhile means in the meantime, other workers have been uh, cleaning cells, caring for their young or larvae, and guarding the precious cache of nectar. Yeah, it's so precious to them, that
Yeah.
supply of food.
Another special coterie is entrusted with heating and cooling the hive.
hmm
I'm wondering how actually they do that.
Let me see. Another special coterie is entrusted with heating or cooling the hive. Oh,
Cooling or cooling?
cooling. You said calling?
Cooling, yeah.
Cooling, yes.
Cooling.
Yes,
Yeah.
cooling. Yeah, hold heating or cooling. Yeah, they do it with some sort of ventilation. Letting the air go, and or even blocking the air.
Yeah.
This is called ventilation. Dedicated.
Dedicated to the welfare of the queen that uh, and the entire insect community. All of these workers display a complete absence of uh, cupidity.
hmm Yeah. Dedicated to the welfare of the queen and the entire insect community, all of these workers display a complete absence of cupidity or selfishness. So they make a dedication, or they make a commitment to the whole system, and everything is based on rules. So their interactions are rule governed,
Yeah.
to the welfare of, to the well-being of, to the let's say good conditions of the queen and the entire insect community or society. All of these workers display or show a complete absence of cupidity.
Through a fortuitous remark, the cache of the art thieves was discovered.
Through a fortuitous remark, the cache of the art thieves was discovered. So, let me see. He split the beans. Do you know this structure, this idiom?
No, could you repeat it, please?
Spill the beans. So, through a fortuitous remark means accidental talk or revelation. The cache or secret place, surreptitious place of the art thieves, for example, portraits and sculptures, was disclosed, discovered.
Yeah.
Spill the beans means to reveal a secret.
Got it.
Okay.
Number 2,
Yes.
we warn him that his reprehensible cupidity would eventuate in a loss of all his friends.
Yes. We warned him that his reprehensible cupidity means blameworthy greed would eventuate in means resulting, yes, or culminate in a loss of all his friends, because nobody wants to be around a person who is greedy or avaricious.
The good-hearted doctor went into the jungle purely for altruistic reasons.
Yeah. Here even reason has been pluralized, but I have seen some cases in which reason is not pluralized. The good-hearted doctor, benevolent altruistic.
Yeah.
I went into the jungle purely for altruistic reasons. Yeah.
A coterie of bridge players made our clubroom their permanent habitat.
A coterie of bridge players made our clubroom their permanent habitat. So they just start residing there.
Yeah.
And group of players, clubroom. Habitat is a permanent place.
Yeah.
And usually it is used for animals, so the whole sentence is rather figuratively put.
Oh.
Okay, please.
Sure. Every time the irate motorist told about the accident, he had a tendency to embellish the story.
Every time the irate, first syllable, second syllable, irate motorist told about the accident, he had a tendency to embellish the story. Yeah, so he wanted to twist the story.
Twist, yeah?
Yeah, it means complicated or even actually change it, alter it, twist. Yeah. Okay. Irate.
Furious, vicious.
Furious, yes.
Irate.
So let me see. And motorist?
Driver.
Yeah, it does not refer to a motorcycle biker necessarily.
I remember that once I made a mistake about it.
Okay, so let me see.
Altruistic refers to
altruistic.
Altruistic refers to unselfish. Unselfish.
Unselfish.
Unselfish. Okay. Embellish refers to adorn, touch up.
Right.
And cache refers to a secret hiding place. And coterie refers to small group. Coterie refers to small group having something in common. Cupidity refers to greed.
Right.
Idiom to make bricks without straw.
Right.
To attempt to do something without having the necessary materials. In the Bible was we read that the Egyptians commanded the Israelites to do so.
Right, Israelites.
And then
yes, example.
Yeah, my uncle's business schemes always fail because he tries to make bricks without straw.
So to attempt to do something without having the necessary materials, in the Bible we read that the Egyptians commanded the Israelites to do so. Okay. My uncle's business schemes, or for a scheme you can say.
What do you mean? You mean the pronunciation or
the
meaning?
The meaning. It means instead of. Plans. Yeah, plans you can say. Business plans always fail because he tried to make bricks without straw. Yeah, it's clear if there is no foundation for you to do something, so it's not going to be consolidated in the long term.